Welcome in. It's time for another morning espresso here on the SDH Network. I'm Jason Longshore, and this is all the soccer news that you need to know for Tuesday, January 21st. No deals done yet, although it sounds like progress is happening in one of them, at least for Atlanta United. Miguel Almirón has been linked with a move back home to Atlanta. Multiple sources reporting yesterday. Fabrizio Romano, Cesar Luis Merlo. I mean, that's like Jordan and Bird here in terms of giving you the level of sourcing, saying that a deal was nearly done. Here's some little bit of updated information from Aaron Stokes of the Newcastle Chronicle this morning. The deal is very close. Almiron is ready to travel to the United States in the coming days to finalize the reunion with Atlanta United. Remember, he was an unused substitute in the loss to Bournemouth over the weekend. The team has been given a few days off by manager Eddie Howe. It's touch and go as to whether he's involved at St. Mary's on Saturday. He is with his family. He is on standby, according to Aaron Stokes of the Newcastle Chronicle, to jet across the pond as Atlanta add the final touches on the deal for the 30-year-old Miguel Almirón. So stay tuned. I guess anything could happen at any point when it comes to Miggy. No updates really on Emmanuel Latte Lath. Middlesbrough host West Brom today at 2:45. No updates on whether he's going to be in the squad or what is to come for Emmanuel Latte Lath. That's your Atlanta United portion of the morning espresso. I'm sure there will be more. The team's training today. I'll talk about that here in just a minute. But let's get into the Champions League. The first Champions League group stage games in January start today. And there's some pretty big possible consequences for this new format for the competition. PSG and Manchester City play tomorrow. Games today could affect that game even more tomorrow. But they're in 25th and 22nd in the standings out of 36. If they play to a draw, they could both be on the outside looking in and miss out on the knockout round. They've both struggled. Real Madrid has lost half its games. They're in 20th place, even though they added Kylian Mbappe this time around. Brest, the lowest ranked debutant, they've cruised to 4 wins. They're seventh in the standings. They're ahead of Lille. It's been topsy turvy. There's two more games in this group stage to play. Begins today. The top eight in the standings will advance to the round of 16 for sure. The next group going down to 24, so 9 to 24, will play off to reach the round of 16. Games today to keep an eye on. Monaco and Aston Villa will get us started at 12:45. Monaco have not been consistent. 5 wins in their last 16 games across all competitions. Aston Villa, 4 clean sheets in 6 Champions League games this season. They can qualify for the round of 16 with a win in France today. Atletico Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Atleti have won 7 of their last 8 at home in the Champions League. Leverkusen, 12-match winning streak in all competitions. Leverkusen is in 4th place overall, but they've only got one more point than Atleti in 11th. Liverpool hosting Lille. Lille have only won one of their 10 games against English sides in the Champions League. They've lost 6 in a row against English teams. Benfica hosting Barcelona. Benfica's in 15th place. Barcelona's currently in second and all but assured of being in that top 8 as you get into the knockout round. Slovan Bratislava hosting Stuttgart. This is one that Madrid and City will be watching closely. It's a 3 o'clock game. Stuttgart's in 26th place. They are favored to win on the road at Slovan. That would put them to 10 points. That would put extra pressure on PSG and Manchester City, where it looks like a draw is not going to be good enough for either side in that one. That's tomorrow. We'll reset the table going into tomorrow. According to Sport, Barcelona have reached an agreement with Marcus Rashford for the player to join on loan for the second half of the season. English reports are saying the exact opposite, so welcome to silly season. Sport is saying that Rashford wants to play for Barcelona. They're going to try to wait till the final stages of the transfer market to get a deal done. Dortmund want to get a deal done for Rashford. These are the same clubs that have been mentioned for a little while. Of course, the issue with getting it done now, according to Sport, is Barcelona's salary limit. So they got to free up space in their salary limit to absorb Rashford's wages for the second half of the season. The deals that they did to try to get Dani Olmo and Pau Victor registered in time, which they failed to do so, but the Spanish courts bailed them out. They're back to the 1-for-1 rule. Look it up. It's La Liga. Welcome. You think MLS rules are complicated? Go to Spain. The total amount that Barcelona right now are set to cover if this deal gets done, according to Sport, is 9 million euro. That's half of his annual wages. That could be reduced if Manchester United takes on some of his salary to hold on to it for the rest of the season. And Barcelona still have to clear salary to some level to be able to add Rashford. Again, English reports are saying that he's not going anywhere, so stay tuned. Florentino Perez, he's been reelected unopposed as Real Madrid's president for the next 4 years. 77 years old. He has been Madrid president in 2 different spells between 2000 and 2006, and now since 2009. Really, there hasn't been a lot of change to the overall structure at Real Madrid, but they now have appointed 4 new board members until 2029, all of which are kind of in the running to succeed Florentino Perez. Carlo Ancelotti spoke to the media today, and according to reports previously, he had been set to leave the club at the end of the season with Xabi Alonso at Leverkusen, the leading candidate to take over from him. Ancelotti said, "No way, I'm not leaving. Somebody's going to have to push me out the door," basically. He wants to stay till 2029 alongside Florentino Perez, and they both say goodbye together. Welcome to silly season. Just smile and nod and wait for the news to actually happen rather than all of the conversation about it. Representatives from Manchester United, and we're having conversation about all of it too. That's what we do here, right? Representatives from United are reportedly set to have meetings with 2 different Serie A clubs on Tuesday. One is about an exit, one is about an entrance. The exit is Alejandro Garnacho. The entrance is Patrick Dorgu. Napoli trying to sign Garnacho as a replacement for Kavica Kvaratskhelia, who joined PSG over the weekend. Antonio Conte wants Garnacho. Chelsea are also interested in trying to get a deal with Garnacho done. But while they're in Italy, United will go shopping a little bit. It's what you do, right? Lecce is the club that has Patrick Dorgu. United's trying to get him. He's versatile. He can play out wide. He can be a fullback. Lecce reportedly did not want to part ways with the Denmark international this month, but you throw 40 million or 35 million with additional bonuses at him, they could be persuaded. Milan, they are considering loan moves for Chelsea's Joao Felix or Manchester United's Joshua Zirkzee or Manchester United's Rasmus Højlund or all of the above. Uh, Welcome. I don't think they're going to be able to do all of that. So stay tuned. Again, silly season reporting on these sorts of things. And yeah, now these guys, remember, are not EU or are not non EU players. They are all EU players, even though they're coming from a non EU league in the Premier League. Thank you, Brexit. Manchester City. They've completed a signing this morning. Vitor Reis from Palmeiras of Brazil, 19 years old. It's a 4.5-year deal. 29.6 million pounds for the deal. He's made 22 appearances for Palmeiras and has represented Brazil's U17s on 9 occasions. Florian Plettenberg in Germany has been busy. He's reporting that Omar Marmoush will complete his medical check today. He'll sign a contract until 2030. The announcement of the deal for Manchester City and Eintracht Frankfurt is supposed to be done on Thursday. 75 million euro guaranteed, an additional 5 million euro in bonuses. Marmoush would earn approximately 16 to 17 million euro gross, which would net him 10 million euro annually. Plettenberg also reports that Alphonso Davies, who had been linked with a move to Real Madrid and everybody had said is on his way out of Bayern at the end of the year when his contract is up, he's now on the verge of extending it, trying to get the amount of years done that Davies wants and the salary that he wants. According to Plettenberg, they have got that done, and the salary would be approximately 15 million euro gross, plus a signing fee and additional special bonuses. The signing is now expected soon, according to Florian Plettenberg. Aston Villa, they say they're not going to sell Jean Duran, but West Ham are trying to test that. They have reportedly made a bid worth 57 million pounds. Villa are interested in moving on from Diego Carlos. He is off to link up with Jose Mourinho at Fenerbahce. Keylor Navas, the sweepstakes continue. Now Toluca in Mexico are linked with a move for him. Newell's in Argentina are still the favorites. San Lorenzo could probably slide back in the door, and I'm just waiting for Estudiantes and Foster Gillette to try to hijack the deal because that's what they've done with every player linked to go to Argentina these days. We'll see. Chicago Fire, they are close to signing Jonathan Bamba. That could be announced this morning, it sounds like, according to the teases on the Chicago website and social media pages. He's at Celta de Vigo. It'd be a $2 million transfer. He'd be a designated player. He's 28 years old, 12 appearances in La Liga for Celta this season. He came off the bench in the Copa del Rey against Real Madrid. He scored, he drew a penalty. He came on a free transfer from Lille in the summer. At Lille, he was a big part of helping them win the Liga title in 2021. Luis Araujo, who was here in Atlanta, he was the player who came to MLS from that team. A lot of people expected Bamba to do that then. He didn't. He stayed, left on a free. Lille got nothing for him, and now Celta's the one who's going to get a couple $1,000,000 for him. He had 6 goals, 11 assists in that title winning campaign, and he had at least 13 goal contributions in 3 of his 5 Liga seasons. Toronto, they have re-signed Luka Gavron, their goalkeeper, to a contract extension through 27 with an option for 28. That was announced yesterday. River Plate, they're hosting the Mexican national team tonight at El Monumental in Buenos Aires. Mexico played Internacional of Brazil last week, and they won 2-0 with a roster made up of Liga MX players. Manager Javier Aguirre will rotate the squad tonight to see more of them in action during this January kind of unconventional window for Mexico. Caleb Wiley, our old friend, he has been recalled from his loan to Strasbourg by Chelsea. He'll recover from his shoulder injury in London, and we'll see what the next moves could be for Caleb. I mentioned Atlanta United training today. They're going to be inside in Flowery Branch at the Falcons facility. Stay tuned to the Soccer Down Here social media platforms for insights from the training session, maybe a couple pictures if you're lucky. You're also going to hear from Jay Fortune, Ronald Hernandez, and Ronnie Dyla. They're all set to speak to the media. Madison Cruz and I will have a training ground dispatch later today, and you'll be able to hear from these guys and a few more of my thoughts tonight. Atlanta Soccer tonight on 92.9 The Game and the Odyssey app starting at 10 o'clock. You can always get that on demand wherever you get your podcast from 92.9 The Game, soccer related, at Off the Woodwork. Make sure you are subscribed wherever you get your podcasts, and make sure you're subscribed to Soccer Down Here. We go hand in hand. You know, that's how things work around here. No morning espresso tomorrow. It's a very busy day for a couple of us in the SDH network. Madison Cruz and I will be heading down to Orlando to take part in a trial broadcast with U.S. Soccer for the men's national team match against Costa Rica tomorrow night. It's an audio descriptive commentary for visually impaired attendees in the stadium. It's a test that U.S. Soccer is doing. We've been honored to be part of the process, and we're really excited to do this and figure out how all of this is going to work for everybody involved. Really excited to do this and hopefully add to the experience for the attendees in the stadium. Talk about that when we get back on Thursday, which will not be an espresso because of travel. It might be, I don't know what you're after. I mean, I guess you could have espresso in the afternoon if you want to, but it will probably be all wrapped into the training ground dispatch after Atlanta United training on Thursday. So just stay tuned. You might miss a couple of espressos here, but I'll be back in normal time on Friday to give you that. But plenty of coverage throughout the days to come on Soccer Down Here. 9:05 this morning, John Nelson will take you through all of the news of the morning and break any additional news that might happen as he goes.